Omid Jalili is a well-known British-Iranian actor and a stand-up comedian. He is a writer, a television producer, and a voice actor. He is a very talented man. So much so that he performed at the 60th and 70th birthday event for Prince Charles. BIBA involvement with Omid started in 1996. We are so pleased to have been there with him from the beginning. In many ways, Omid is a very unique British institution, for his success has contributed to normalisation of diversity in British culture and society. His father, Mr Ahmad Djalili, who was an international news photographer, attended BIBA frequently. Here is Omid at one of BIBA's events.
I ask you to let us as a community change the way we celebrate, kind of make our celebration more relevant and more purposeful to present. Let us as a community celebrate present and future as well as past even more than past. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that introduction, Babak. Good evening. My name is Omid, and my presence here tonight is twofold. I've been asked to say just a few words about BIBA, but I'm a typical Iranian in the sense that I know nothing about business, to be absolutely honest. I don't even know why I'm here, to be absolutely truthful, because I'm very typical Iranian in the sense that as far as business goes, I'm one of those Iranians who is very good at playing obscure board games like backgammon, but I have no idea how to pay income tax. That's a typical Iranian problem I have. And I'm also here to introduce Dr. Yasai, simply because Babak has a problem with his he's and she's. Because Babak goes, Dr. Yasai, she is the greatest speaker we have tonight. And thank you. Mentioning all my awards, I think it should also be said that I just was very happy with the news that Gladiator won the Oscar for Best Film today, and as you know, I was in that film, so let's have some more respect for me. Thank you. In fact, before I say anything, if you remember, anyone who's seen the film knows that I had the misfortune of having my groin grabbed by Oliver Reed. Which, as you can imagine, if you know Oliver Reed, it's a very scary thing that on the first day of filming, there's an Omid Jalili, this is Oliver Reed, and there's a, Oliver, could you just grab his nuts? So he held them, and as a joke, he held them in between all the filming as well. So holding them, there's a cut, he still held them there. Can I have some tea, please? He's only joking. Keep drinking like that, and it was quite frightening. And also, he mentioned Robert Redford. Robert Redford's also. I was a bit nervous when I met Robert Redford because everybody was saying, "I thought you were great in Butch Cassidy," and then I thought, well, let's start with a joke, as Babak says. So I said to Robert Redford, I said, "Mr. Redford, I thought you were fantastic in Hawaii Five-0." He said to me, "I thought you were great in Dr. Zhivago, but I think you've let yourself go a bit." Taught me a lesson. But anyway, and also I'm also here to say thank you very much to the Iranian community for supporting me very much in my career, especially through stand-up comedy and through the documentary I did, Bloody Foreigners, which had a very good response. And thank you very much. Yeah, indeed. It was it was not always the case. Iranians often used to say, "Ah, bia man ye joke bet begam, to jokat kheli bimazza. Man ye joke bet begam, boro begu." As is only comedians they do. You never go up to a stripper and say, "Now this is a good one. Do this." But thank you very much to all those Iranian gentlemen in their 70s who helped me in their community. But I'd also like to, if I may, just expand a little bit. Now, Babak mentioned some very interesting, if I could just be serious for a second, the British-Iranian Business Association is not just about self-promotion, it's not just about Anglo-Iranian relations, it's not just about all of us saying how great we are. And tonight we're looking at this wonderful subject of a new economy. And I think I'd like to speak personally about a new world that we're living in. Because what BIBA is trying to promote is, as we're living more in a multicultural society, that Iranians have a voice in the society, that we all are able to contribute to this society, I think, which is a very, very important thing, to give all of us confidence to be able to live in the society as equals. Because one of the greatest challenges facing humanity today is to recognize our oneness, to recognize that we are unified, that we are diverse, and that we all have something to contribute. And this is not simply ignorant emotionalism or kind of vain and pious hope. It is a spiritual truth. We are all one. And I think what BIBA is trying to do is in a sense to promote that. And I think that especially if we see this, we should see it very much as the Anglo-Iranian alliance being very much like a marriage, and the fruits of those marriages, of those wonderful alliances, is people contributing and being happy. And I'm very happy tonight. I've brought along my wife today, Annabelle Jalili, who is, as you can see, we probably won't see, but she's in the front here. And Annabelle's, we are very much an Anglo-Iranian relationship, and she's been exposed to all the wonderful things in Iranian culture. I'll never forget, she has a diary. I'll never forget an Iranian guest coming to my house and picking up her diary and reading her diary. In Iran we have no sense of privacy. And when she confronted this 70-year-old gentleman, she goes, "That's my diary." All he said was, "You were thinking of leaving Omid in 92? Shame on you." And also the wonderful, never forget Annabelle's parents coming for dinner, and my parents taroffing, saying, "Well, have kebab, have two kebab." They said, "No, they're not that hungry." They said, "Take kebab is all. You like Fanta? We have Fanta. You know, have all the Fanta." It's taroff. They said, "Okay." They eat it, and as soon as the parents did, they said, "Ajab shikami Inglishan. Chad khordan ina." They're so greedy. She's been exposed to all those things, and when I say it's like a marriage, the Anglo-Iranian relationship is very much like a marriage. It's especially like with me, you know, at first in our relationship. Well, I'll give you the Iranian. I know Dr. Hossein Danish is a wonderful Iranian psychotherapist and psychologist who talks about the 3 levels of a relationship, and I'd like to share this with you. The first stage of a relationship in a marriage is the blind love stage. And this is where everything that you see in that person you love. There's, even if he's fat, even if he's bald, even if he's you know, got bad breath, you'll love this. That was certainly in my case. I'm very thankful for my wife for overlooking those things. But it's a blind love stage, and blind love will finish, where that's stage 1. And stage 1 finishes and you go into stage 2. Stage 2 in a marriage is where you really start working at the marriage, you see? Where you work at the marriage, where everything suddenly becomes an irritation because you don't understand each other, you see? Men and women have those problems. We misunderstand each other and we actually fight. And many people stay in this stage for the rest of their lives. It's called stage 2 blues. You can go on and maybe you get divorced, or you have cold love, you stay together for the children, but you just really just want to forget about each other. It's just stage 2, and when stage 2 is, you fight over stage 2, you go into stage 3. And stage 3 is where it's not perfect, but you have a predominance of understanding, where stage 2 was a predominance of anger and irritation. Stage 3 is a wonderful thing, and I often, I told this to Annabelle, and Annabelle said, because that means that you and I, we're in stage 4. And I said, what's stage 4? She goes, stage 4 is a repeat of stage 2. Which I thought was very witty. And as my Jewish friend Ivor said, communication is very important, as I was saying, in a relationship, especially marriage. Communication is very important, because if you're making love to your partner, for God's sake, tell them. That's what my friend Ivor says. But, so very much the Anglo-Iranian relationship is very much like a marriage. It's something that we have to work at. It's something that it's something we have to constantly promote. And this is why I got involved with the program Bloody Foreigners, which is a wonderful thing. And especially in the Iranian community, I had a lot of support, especially for the scene where I flashed my backside, where many Iranians said, "Che ajab, a man who's so hairy as you, your backside is so shiny and smooth." Shabegab vaksesh kardam. So thank you for that support, which is very important. So, but I think it's very important that with that program, the most important message I had, which I think is an important message for all of us here, is that refugees, asylum seekers, Iranians. I mean, I was actually born and raised in this country, but still feeling that same. I've gone through those same stages of marriage. At the beginning, people thought, "Oh, he's very exotic." Then they become very suspicious of me, and now people see me doing comedy, and especially in Edinburgh, the Scottish people always say they say it's great to see a Paki doing comedy, which is great. But this is the most important thing: is that we all feel that we can contribute to the society, and that we basically all the potential that we have within us, that this mind rich, full of gems that we call a human soul, that we can exploit the potentiality. And I've often felt, and I'd just like to finish with this, I've often felt that as a community, as an Iranian community, we have a lot to offer. We have such a wealth of, I suppose, we have a wealth with our literature, and we have a lot of spirituality in the Iranian community. And I think we always feel that we should share this with the Western community. We always think, why? Because why should we share? We say because in the West people are unhappy. And we think, well, why? We always think because people in the West, they drink, they take drugs, they don't care about their spiritual welfare. And we think, why? So because they're empty. And we think, why? Because they don't have God. We think, why? This is because they don't need it. We think, why? Because they're actually quite happy. And why? Because they drink, they take drugs. They don't care about their spiritual welfare. But we know it's good for them, and we shall continue doing that. So, so before we carry on, and no one ever does it, but I'd just like to say this, that we would not be here unless it was for Babak Emamian. So a round of applause also for Babak Emamian. And to his wonderful wife, Ladan, as well. And Babak, I tell you, Babak, she is working very hard.